The GOP clearly divided. Senator Lindsey Graham throwing a lot of cold water on Paul Ryan's tax cut plan. He says he wouldn't even get 10 votes in the Senate. Joining us now is Karl Rove. Karl, this is not the Republican Party that Trump backers want to see in Congress. Explain yourself.
Wait a minute, I'm not Lindsey Graham.
No, I know.
Explain yourself, for God's sake.
Look, I mean, this is a very badly divided Republican Party, Karl. Yeah. Not funny.
Well, this is not the first senator to come out and oppose the tax plan. You remember Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, home of Walmart, came out and attacked the border adjustment tax. My reading between the lines, that's what it sounds like with Lindsey Graham, who's also from a state that imports. I mean, the Port of Charleston is one of the largest ports in America. So this shows the difficulty the Republicans are going to have, not in passing a comprehensive tax reform, but passing a comprehensive tax reform with the border adjustment tax in it.
Yeah, is that the sticking point? That's the sticking point, isn't it? At this point?
I think so. That's what I hear on the Hill, because you have states where that are export dependent. They want to have the tax. There are states that are import dependent or have businesses that are import dependent. They don't want the tax, and that's going to be the big sticking point.
There will be hell to pay from the Republican base if a tax cut deal isn't organized, and organized fast.
Well, look, there's going to be a Republican tax cut bill. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The question is going to be, does it include the border adjustment tax, which is a way to sort of, its advocates say it's a way to equalize our trading advantage. In essence,
but it's got to pass.
Today we don't tax imports, and we do tax exports, and they want 120 countries that trade with us do exactly the opposite, including many of our major trading partners. But it is a sticking point, and that's going to be the thing that's going to have to be resolved. Otherwise, I think there's broad consensus about everything else. But this is not an easy question, because this provides $1 trillion of revenue over the next decade, which allows you to pay for, if you will, not add to the deficit when you cut rates for individuals and cut rates for companies.
Okay. There'll be hell to pay if you don't get a tax cut deal passed by the Senate, signed by the President. That's just my opinion, and I think you agree with it.
I agree totally with you. And let me say one thing. Lindsey Graham is, I'd pay more attention to what Tim Scott, his fellow South Carolina senator, who is actually on the Senate Finance Committee that will have to write the Senate version of the bill. I'd be more interested in what Tim Scott has to say on this issue, with all due respect to Senator Graham.
Real fast, Karl, we've got the Democrats in disarray. That's my expression. On Saturday, they vote for who's going to chair the DNC. Leading candidates on the left, the far left, Keith Ellison, Congressman. On the right-hand side of your screen, but still on the far left, is former Labor Secretary Perez. This is a move by the Democrats to the left, any way you slice it. That's my reading, Karl.
You're totally right. We got Tweedledum and Tweedledee, left and further left. The only difference between the two ideologically is that Perez is a friend of Hillary Clinton and Keith Ellison is a friend of Bernie Sanders. But their ideological views, their programmatic views are largely the same. And you're right. The Democratic Party is marching far to the left. They're following your old British Labour Party in your former home country. Off the cliff.
I'm glad you got my former country. I'm glad you got that in,
by
Karl.
God, I'm so proud you're an American citizen, I can't tell you.
You're all right, Rove. I don't care what they say. You're all right. Thank you very much, Karl Rove. Good stuff. Thank you.